Hey, yo, welcome to the Boston Sports Brothers podcast. Well, 55 episodes in, and it finally happened. I fucked up from a recording standpoint, so we lost the first minute or two of the episode there. However, we have Sam Hellerman from Ripe On, along with Big E, Kraz, and J Matt for this episode. And the first question that we asked to Sam of Ripe was how he feels about the new album that they just put out called Play the Game. Apple, Spotify, everywhere that you listen to your music, you can find it. They got a big tour coming up. So the episode sort of just picks up where the recording finally started as he's answering the first question that we had for him in terms of what his feelings are of the album being out now for 10 days as we record on September 29th. And the rest of the episode is as is in terms of everything that you would expect from a Boston Sports Brothers podcast episode. So take a listen. Appreciate you tuning in. And here's the rest of the episode, picking things up after we asked Sam Hellerman the question, how do you feel about the new album, Play the Game, being out on all platforms right now? Check it out.
So it really, they're big milestone moments. And this one has felt really good. The response has been really just overwhelmingly positive and warm. I keep my eye on the socials and, I'm pretty constantly, just keeping an eye out on things rolling in. And I think what was the worst review I saw? Someone said something like I didn't want to like it and I wish there were more horns, but damn, I think it's my favorite Ripe album. That's like so the response has been really good, man. And it feels really good. I'll be honest.
Love it. Love it. Kraz, take it
Yeah,
away.
mine's kind of twofolded. So one, I know one of the songs that you have on, you have Corey Wong featured on. I've seen him a couple times. Super talented guy. I know Robbie has a little bit of a background with him, so I just wanted to know what it was like working with him, one, and then also what your favorite song off this album was.
Yeah, sure. It's funny you mentioned Corey because Robbie actually just happened to run into him out at a bar in LA last night. Like ran into him and Theo Katzman,
Yep,
another Wolfpack member,
yep.
and Corey's longtime drummer, Pitar, who's just like
Yeah,
the best.
I like that guy.
Gnarly.
He's a lefty.
Yeah, oh, dude,
Yeah,
he's the best. But we may be going out with them tonight, so I'll try not to
that's
say
awesome.
anything bad about any of them. You know, just keep the the universe on my side. But I'm kidding. There's really nothing bad to say about any of them. Corey's just awesome, man. I mean, he's prolific beyond belief. An incredible musician and guitar player, and um, we didn't actually record the song with him. We sent him the tune after the fact, and he's got his whole studio set up, so he just kind of did his thing over it. And but in general, I mean, Corey elevates everything he touches, and he certainly elevated that song, the song "Strangers" that he's
Mhm.
on. And so it's just an honor to continue to be in his orbit and to have him involved in any way. I mean, what an amazing musician. My favorite song off the record is probably the song "Beige Suit." We wrote it with a really good friend of ours out here who's in a great band called Hembry. If anyone hasn't checked out Hembry, definitely check that band out. And it was like, it almost didn't make the first cut of songs that were going to get recorded, and then it almost didn't make the album, and then all of a sudden it's like kind of the like secret favorite, it seems, of the people who've been listening. And I just love that song. I love the groove. I love the way my drums ended up sounding on it. Love the lyrics. I think that was a really special song. It's a real like gem that we sort of accidentally stumbled upon. So I'm pretty stoked about that one.
I got a follow up to that in terms of also working with Clyde and Gracie Lawrence, featuring them on Letting Go. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but this
Great
is the
song.
first time there's some features of other artists and you guys have collaborated. What was it like working with Clyde and Gracie? And like, what's the intention in terms of the order in which the songs appear on the album? Is there anything behind that?
You know, I really wanted to start the album with Letting Go before we even knew if Clyde and Gracie were gonna be able to be on it. I mean, they're like some of the busiest people we know. I mean, Gracie's like a bona
Love
fide
it. Love it.
star. Yeah, I mean, she's, I mean, they're so busy doing all this amazing stuff. Um, but I don't know. I kind of feel like Letting Go is just it's sort of it's like the epitome of the new record. Like it kind of feels like if you were to pick a nucleus, sort of a center point that I feel like the album's kind of built around. I think it kind of accidentally became Letting Go. I don't think that was always the intention, but just as it came together, it felt like, I mean, what a cool way to open up the record. I mean, that sort of that big drum fill right into it's such a big sound. And this is, I guess, a secret, but whatever. We're gonna open the shows with it as well. Like it's gonna kind of be the big show opener for the upcoming tour. And I don't know, I just think that song is so um it's like emblematic of where we're at right now as a band. Like it's kind of a perfect example of where the band is right now. Um Bloody, what was your other question? I lost my train of
Uh,
thought.
that's great. No, more so just like the order of songs in general
Yeah.
on that album.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's so many different ways to slice it. Like it could have been it could have been a different order, and I don't think that necessarily would have decreased the quality of the record, but you kind of just need to decide, okay, like this feels like the right next track. You kind of just go with your gut. It's kind of like building a set list, even though we would never play an album in order live because a set list is kind of its own thing, but you kind of just got to go with your gut.
What happens if like you disagree? Like, is there like a democracy, like a vote? Who like
Oh
how
yeah.
does that work? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, four of us do the core decision making, so um you kind of like you do whatever you can to avoid like a 2-2 deadlock. So, if like two people are going in a certain direction, you do your best to just kind of get on board. Um and yeah, I mean, it was like we sat down, we kind of did a rough order all together, and then little changes were made. And then, we were originally just going to have 10 songs on the record, and then we added Beige Suit and Heartbreak Store last minute. So then you kind of had to find a place to put those in. So you just kind of hack away at it. And, I originally, and I think there was actually a good chunk of time where the song Friend in the Dark was going to start the record and Letting Go is going to be two. And then I don't remember why we ended up changing that. It might have ended up when we got Clyde and Gracie. That may have actually pushed it to one. We're like, okay, that's pretty hot. We should lead off with that.
Yeah, it's definitely a banger to like get you into the album, and heard the first sort of notes to it. I'm like, all right, here we go. Like,
Yeah, here we go.
let's
Yeah.
let's get ready to rock and roll.
Body, you said
J-Man,
it perfectly. It was like every single time I listen to it, it just gets better. And I was like,
yeah,
yeah, you're exactly right. Every single time I listen to this song, it just gets that much better.
Appreciate
yeah,
that.
no doubt. J-Man, take it away.
So, Sam, you said you guys came off a crazy summer tour. You're resting up in LA right now. What was your favorite experience about the tour in New England? Where you were in Southern Rhode Island. I'm glad that you guys are all in one piece. Wink, wink. So yeah, what was your favorite part of the summer?
Yeah, I mean, I'll address the wink wink. Like honestly, and I'm not just saying this, we did the album release show at Bernie's, I guess 10 days ago. Yeah, whenever the album came out. And that was the rescheduled show from the show that we had to cancel because, we flipped a golf cart and it's like literally almost killed all of us. Um, and so it was kind of, it felt pretty triumphant to go back, and to go back in one piece. And, as I've told Plotty in, just sort of the family sphere when we're just catching up, like, man, I thought it was all over. Like, I was just looking at Robbie, like, unconscious and on the ground with like blood coming out of his head and the golf carts on top of John. And it's like, I was like, oh my God, we blew it. We like ruined everything. And so to go back and then to play not only a great show, but a great show that was about 60% new music. I mean, we played 9 of the 12 songs on the album, which, yeah, I think 4 of those were singles. So, like, people knew them to some degree, but a lot of music that had never been played live. And it just hit. Like, it just hit hard. Like, way harder than I could have expected or would have expected. And it just felt so good, man. It was like, it just felt like a real gift to be there. Like, I felt really lucky to be there. I felt really just grateful to not only just be alive, but to have this new record out and people are enjoying it. And, shout out to Josh and my family. We had about, 8 to 10 family members there who, it was just really special having them there. And it was just like, it was awesome. It really filled, and all of our partners were there. It was just like such a great night, man. And you don't expect people to react to music they've never heard before as positively as they did. I don't expect myself to. Like, when I go to a concert and bands like, oh, you want to hear a new song? And you're like, yeah, but like, you don't really mean it. Like, you want to hear the songs that you love. But they treated the new songs as though they'd been out for 10 years. And that was just awesome.
Real fans.
Real fans.
And I got a little follow-up question for this because you guys have had some special nights. You said Bernie's was special and MGM has been special too. Like, do you like the bigger venues or do you prefer like the smaller, like intimate venues? Because it seems like you've played in both.
Bigger the better, baby.
Love it.
Let's go.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy answer.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's fun. It's always fun, right? And I love playing clubs, and while I very much hope we are one day, playing in amphitheaters and arenas, like, I always want to be able to play clubs too, because it's such a vibe. I mean, think about some of the shows that we've done together, Josh, like, Belly Up and in San Diego, and what was that room in Columbus? I don't even remember the name, but like, those shows are great.
Four home, maybe NBC4
Yeah.
home.
But there's something about this band, and it's always been this way. It's like we just rise to the occasion, and we're much more likely to have a show that feels weird or like, it didn't really hit tonight in a smaller room. Like, that's never happened to a big crowd. Like, you put a big crowd in front of us, we just somehow find a way to like make it happen,
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey,
Sorry,
bud.
I'm a little bit late, but Samson, I have like 2 questions for you. First one
Hey, bud.
is you just mentioned, getting out there and playing the album for the first time. Anytime you guys are playing new music for the first time, what's like the level of like butterflies that are going through your system, just like getting ready to go out there and put something out there live for the first time in front of an audience. It's got to be exhilarating and scary all at the same time. So I'd love to hear how that feels for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to our own credit, we try to keep ourselves on our toes even when it's not new music. So whether it's new covers or like a new arrangement of a song, we really thrive off having like a curveball in the set, something to sort of like, you look around and like, oh shit, here we go. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And so, multiply that by whatever large number of your choosing, when it's our own new music. Yeah, it's exhilarating, it's nerve-wracking, and to play a bunch of them in, at Bernie's, yeah, it was really, it was anxiety inducing. And, you know, if you talk to my girlfriend, she'll tell you every now and then there's a show that I just get like anxious for, to the point where like, don't even talk to me for the day. Like I can't even like really function as a person until the show is over. And a show where you're playing like basically the whole of a brand new album, that's one of those shows. So it's real. It's real, but I think it's so important for us, whether it's a new album or, like I said, just some curveball in the set, like never get complacent, never get bored, never think it's going to be easy, like, I mean, it's like it's like a sports team, right? It's like you're the Bills and you're playing the Patriots, right? It might be easy to be like, oh, like we got this team, we got this, like, we're a much better team. And then you go in and you get your ass kicked because you weren't really prepared. Like for us, it's like every show, no matter how small, no matter how big, no matter what we're playing, like it's treated as important. It's high stakes, the stakes are always there. So that's a really important to us as a band.
Love that. I also love the fact that you got the game script for Sunday night already ready to go with the Bills and Patriots
Ready to rock, baby. Ready to
looking
go.
right ahead.
Yeah.
So, second question for you is, well-deserved break that you guys have, and I'm glad that everyone's okay and you guys are recovering. But upcoming tour coming up with Alan Stone, really exciting. He's also a fantastic artist in his own right. Um, what are some stops and venues on the tour that you're excited for?
Boston, New York, the obvious ones. Um, there's a lot, man. And it's hard to pick, but the this tour is bigger across the board. Like every room is a bigger room than the last room that we played in that city. And I've always had my little, favorite places to play. Like I love playing Chicago. I love playing San Francisco. I love playing Minneapolis. Like just kind of random places that I associate positively in my head. But man, I'm just stoked. I'm just stoked to like do the whole thing on, a couple notches of a bigger level, and just pumped. I'm just pumped to do the whole thing big and really make the most of every night.
It's going to be epic. You mentioned the Boston show coming up November 21st, a Friday night, taking place at MGM Music Hall. All the bros will be there. Where
To get
can
a Sam sandwich picture.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Where can if folks don't have tickets yet, where can they find tickets, Sam?
Just head to our website, ripetheband.com. Tickets for every show are on there. That'll take you to the link you need to go to. But ripetheband.com is where, if you need anything from us, you can most likely find it there.
Love it. We know you got a lot going on. Got some stuff later tonight. We do. I regrettably didn't do this last time. Got to shout out the whole family. We know they're tuning in tonight. I think listeners know Sam and I are cousins at this point, so we appreciate his time and jumping on with us. Sam mentioned some of the memories from my favorite memories from the summer were just sort of bopping around to the different places that you played. Nothing like a Ocean Mist show. Seeing you guys come back and take over at Levitate, and the energy there. And it's different, right? Like an Ocean Mist show and a Levitate festival are just like two completely different ends of the spectrum, but both incredible times. And what you do to sort of allow friends and family to interact and sort of be like this, for lack of a better word, entourage to the band is unbelievably appreciated, and it's a cool thing to experience as somebody that's sort of on the sidelines, but gets to come in and put a little request into the set list or whatever it is.
Or write the whole set list.
Hey, you never know. You never know. So and then shows up 4 songs late because the fucking Uber driver canceled
Ah.
canceled the Uber. So
No, but
but
I'm the lucky one, man. I'm the lucky one that you guys want to come. I'm the lucky one there. So
love it, fellas. Any parting words for Sam, or otherwise we'll see him in just a few months here at MGM, and it's going to be a hell of a night there. Come find us if you're at the show. We'll be alive and well and potentially floating.
Congrats on the new album. It's such a banger, man. You guys should be
thank you
so
guys.
proud.
Thank you. Really, really appreciate it, and thank you guys for having me on. I would love talking to you guys. So enjoy the rest of the show. Let's go Pats. Let's go Sox. Let's go B's and
Love it.
C's too. But
Oh
right
yeah.
They're in the
now.
backseat.
We're about to talk all about it. Sam, thanks for joining us. Say hello to the other band members, and
Will
we'll see
do.
you soon. Have a great tour. We'll be in touch. No golf cart rides, please.
You got it, buddy.
Love
Much
you, buddy.
love, fellas.
Good seeing
Much
you, Sam.
love.
See you, Sam.
All right, Sam Hellerman of Right. Great new album out for the fellas. Check it out. Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your music. It's good stuff. Gentlemen, it's
Download
great
it,
to
stream it, jam
almost
to it.
have, yeah, all of it, all of it, all of it.
Sam,
It's
Sam, we got two more guys with us this week.
Almost got a full crew.
almost. We're so damn close.
We're
But Gabe has a very valid excuse as he's in the home stretch for a big, big day on Saturday. But we're holding down the fort, fellas. So much to get into from a sports perspective. Lots on the docket. J-Matt, take it away. Let's start Patriots in a very nice win for this team.
I think it was the best win since Brady's been here, to be completely honest. I mean, it might have been. I mean, I can't really think of the last 4 years where you've had a win where it's really was kind of out of question after the first quarter, really. I mean, the first part of the first quarter, I think we can all agree was a little shaky. They completely settled down though, which is great. That's what good teams do. It's you kind of see what the other team's giving you, and you kind of adjust. And then also same with offense, it's the same exact thing. And they did on all phases. They didn't really need to adjust on the kicking game, and we'll get into that. But it was a full package. It's what you want. No turnovers. The offense was very efficient. Drake May looks like that guy that we all want to see out there. He's very his passing has been incredible. His decision making for taking those runs when the defense is giving it to him. I think McDaniels has been calling some good offensive plays, getting him on the boot, getting him out of the pocket, using those legs. I think it's really gonna take off for him, and you're gonna see his ability to move on the run and throw, and again, if the lane's open, take it. So you can't really complain on anything that we're seeing on the offense. The guys holding on to the ball, Stevenson, Gibson, so that's great. And then the kicking game, I mean, that was just Marcus Jones. Like what that was incredible. What is this, Devin Hester? Guy's incredible. One touchdown and almost broke another one. The punter, I think, was the guy who got him last. So I want your guys' take on the game, but from beginning to end, I mean, it was dominant.
Yeah, like you said, it was dominant from beginning to end, and I just to go along with that punt return, I just remember saying to myself, "Don't run backwards, never run backwards." And sure as shit, he ran it through, but it was a solid game. I mean, Drake May, like you said, he was great. He was, 14 for 17. He had an 82.4% passer rating, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns. If you're into quarterback ratings, he was at like 155.8. And this season, he's at 101. I mean, the kid's having a great season. Couple ugly games, obviously. This one kind of stands out. Again, we're not facing great competition, but at the same time, these guys are NFL players, and we're always getting our feet dirty when we shouldn't be getting our feet dirty. So it was good to see a clean game, pretty much from start to finish. And I look to see them moving forward with that and building on that.
Yeah, I think a couple things that I observed in the game too was it was nice to see Stephon Diggs get involved finally,
Yep.
and I think
100
he
plus.
yeah, he was a guy who had really been quiet and to his credit, had not complained in the media, had been very, kind of a good team player. And it's nice to see him as someone who we've all envisioned as, probably the best wide receiver on the team just based on his past pedigree and what we know he's capable of to really kind of break on out. I think while there are a lot of positives with the game, I still want to focus in on some things that, may have been some negatives. And before we get there, one more positive is Christian Gonzalez came back. So you have your number one corner playing and played well, did a great job in the game. But I think that there were some things that are still some signs that of some concern, and it's not necessarily about like where I believe the team is going, but I still think that seeing Stevenson out there to me is a little bit troubling after what happened last week. And I understand we don't have many running backs, so there's only so many guys that you can put out there. So a little concerned with that. Some defensive lapses in the middle. Chason had to get benched basically, and the Ellerby came in, and Ellerby actually played really good. So there's just a couple things I still think need to be cleaned on up. And as much as I think a lot of us here might think that this team should be 3-1 because they should have taken care against Pittsburgh last week, I would also argue that we were an A-chain toe from going out on the sideline against Miami from losing to them. So I think being 2-2 for this team is exactly where they should be at this point. And one other guy that I do want to give a shout out to just because he got a lot of flack from not just us, but from a lot of people in the media leading up to the draft process and everything. But Mr. Will Campbell, he has been nothing short of amazing. And honestly, I think a lot of us here were Travis Hunter fans and really wanted him. And we had the famous thanks Gerard moment earlier this year, but truly I do believe Will Campbell has been a great pick for us. And I think I got a new nickname for him. I'm going to start calling him Jurassic Park because he's a beast. He's a beast, and we're going to ride into that T-Rex nickname with him in a different way, and make that something that's a good part of being a T-Rex, and he's Mr. Jurassic Park now.
Yeah, I mean, Will Campbell has been what you would want out of a first round tackle that you take it at the fourth overall selection. The more you don't hear his name during a broadcast means he's playing better. Great to see that. Gotta say, Borealis, our boy, was perfect in this game, so nice to see him sort of settle in. Unfortunate note from Vrabel in terms of defensive coordinator. Terrence Williams, that's his name, correct? Apologies if I have that wrong. Unfortunately diagnosed with prostate cancer, so you have a little bit of some insight in terms of what he's going through. You got to shout out Zach Core, who's sort of taken over and stepped into that role admirably. The Patriots are right around giving up 20 points a game right now. So defensively, they're doing well in two games this year where they've scored 30 plus, which hadn't happened since 2021. So great to see the offense coming back. McDaniels is a big part of that as well. So this team has a huge measuring stick game, Sunday Night Football versus Buffalo coming up.
I want to talk more about this past game though. For a few. So so Eric, I hear you on Stevenson. But it was a very balanced attack. I looked at the box score. I think he had 9 touches, and then Gibson had the second most, and then I think, or Gibson and then Henderson. But it was all very even. It was like 9, 8, 6, something of the likes of that. So I'm cool with that. They're paying this guy a lot of money, so they're not just going to sit him on the bench. Like he has guaranteed money, so they're not going to do that. And he's actually pretty good. If he holds onto the ball, he's probably your best running back. I think Henderson has the ability to be your best running back, but
keyword
he hasn't. Keyword is if for Henderson too. He's a rookie. I mean, he's looking more like a rookie because he's playing against ones and not 2s and 3s when he was playing in the preseason. So I think he's also a big if too. Don't give him his.
He looked pretty damn good this weekend. He looked pretty damn good.
I think the entire offense looked pretty damn good. I think you have to give
that's the big thing.
Kudos. The line's looking good. So hold on. So I also think Ben Brown was a great addition to the offensive line this week too. And the offensive line as a whole, I don't think you can just call it Will Campbell. I think you have to call everyone. They've been incredible. Drake May got hit once on Sunday. Once. One hit. I don't know what we're talking about. And then the Miami game, Miami's been a house of horrors for what, the last 15 years. So
20.
the fact that they went down there, actually put up points and were able to overcome their mistakes, I'm good with getting a win by even a foot out of bounds. Like I'm cool with that. So I
Oh,
do agree this team should be 2-2. 3-1 would be incredible, but I'm not going to discredit them for going down into Miami and pulling out a win and
Oh,
doing that.
I'm not discrediting them. I just think that like we sit here and we say that they should have won against the Steelers, and yes, they probably should have. But I think it's also fair to look at that game against Miami and say they very well could have easily lost that game too. So I'm just trying to look at it objectively and not through rose-colored lenses saying we should have just won that game against Pittsburgh. I think we could have also very easily lost that game against Miami. That's my own take on it. I'm glad that, it feels good to be 2-2, candidly, versus where we were last year. Would I prefer that we're 3-1? Of course. But we didn't take care of business against Pittsburgh. And the first game of the season against the Raiders, we sucked. So we are what our record is. And,
But we're
like,
but we're but can you agree we're an improving team?
oh, absolutely.
Like
I'm not crapping on the team saying that we're a bad team by any means, but I also don't think we are. I think this week is going to tell us a lot of where we are, right? And that's where I think Plotty was trying to go with talking about this game against Buffalo being a measuring stick.
I still think it's a little too early to like
I
use this
agree.
as a complete measuring stick. I think the second game against Buffalo later on this year would be a real measuring stick.
It's not about winning or losing this game. It's about being competitive. And
Correct.
that's what I'm looking at as a measuring stick type game. And if we end up losing this game, but we're in it in the fourth quarter, and listen, we're not throwing the game away. We're in there. We have the ability to, hold Buffalo. We have the ability to go on a drive and take this game from maybe being I'm just going to say, I hope it's not this way, but let's say it's a 10-point game and make it a field goal game. I'm going to feel good. I'm going to feel like, hey, listen, Buffalo has been the cream of the crop in the division for the last 5 years. And if we can hang with these guys, where clearly they have the MVP of the league, the reigning MVP of the league,
But
they also have arguably one of the best running backs in the league and
they
a
just
solid
snuck out
defense.
they just snuck out a win against a winless Saints team. So I don't get how you can say that. I mean, this is a week to week league. It truly is. And
Oh,
last week really showed that. And I don't know if I would be like if they're
do you
hanging
not
out with them. I don't know. I mean, it depends on how they're hanging out with them.
do you not
If it's like
do
a
you
high scoring game, I'm cool. Like, it's got
do
to be
you
a little bit more.
do you not believe that Buffalo is like a legit contender to win the Super Bowl this year? Because I
Of
do.
course they do. But same with Green Bay. People thought Green Bay was a legit contender and they just tied with Dallas and they're 2-1-1. They could easily be 2-2. I'm just trying to say this league is like crazy from week to week. You really don't know what you're gonna get. I just hope that they can stay with the Bills, but like I, I don't know if this is the week that like you see the teams in like November and December that really are the winning team. So it's tough to say that in September and October. I'm just saying.
Well,
Also, I'm
listen,
trying to say that.
I don't think the records are also indicative of where these teams are right now because I think like with the way the league has changed from going to the 4 preseason games, it's basically extended preseason for the first month of the season. I know that the games still count the same as they would later in the season, but you look at a team like Baltimore. Do I believe that we are a better team than Baltimore, even though we have a better record? No, I still believe Baltimore is a better team than us. Does that mean that that will be the case at the end of the season? No, we could end up potentially having a better record than them. But currently constructed, I still believe that Baltimore is a better team based on everything that they have on their roster. Does not mean that I don't believe in the Patriots, but I also can't buy into a 4 game sample size for any team at this point and say, oh, they're good or they're bad. I think
That's my
it's good.
point, though.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with you on that.
Okay.
And the
Okay, because
thing,
I'm just trying to say like the second game against the Bills is the litmus test. This is
yeah,
like we'll see
I
what we
agree.
got.
the
I
the
agree.
thing
And
the thing about this game is, can you go on the road? Can you go on the road into a difficult environment early in the season and put up a fight against a team that has pretty much had your number over the past couple of years and it's won the division. And to be able to go up there, does it mean when we get to November or December, we're going to look back, at this game on Sunday Night Football and was this the moment? Was this not the moment where something happened for this team? Who knows? That's still to be determined with the thing out. Going back to J-Matt and what you were talking about wrapping up the game from this week, it's an all hands on deck situation for the Patriots. They need every single one of their players especially at the top of the roster and the running back room to be contributors, to hold on to the ball. You're not going to be able to get by teams like Buffalo without having, Stevenson, Henderson, and Gibson all having some sort of contribution to this team. So look, it's way too early to say which way the Patriots are going to be able to go. I think 2-2, 4 games into the season, and you kind of beat yourself in one of those games. You have to feel like they're turning the corner. They're not this shitbag team that they were the last 2 years. That's for
I
fucking
mean,
sure.
gentlemen, they won 4 games last year. Like we're halfway there already. Feel
I
pretty
mean,
good.
I think maybe I just have PTFD, post-traumatic fumble disorder, from being at the game on 2 weeks ago
You did.
against
You
against
did
the
have to
Steelers.
witness that
So,
shit show in person.
So like, excuse me if I'm not, all
but here's
sunshines
the
and
thing.
rainbow here right
You
now.
can't abandon the run game altogether, and
No.
you and I'm only saying this because when you do that, I mean, when you have the run game going together, then that opens up the field for everything else, as you know. So I mean, we're in an unfortunate situation where we have two guys with butterfingers that are just dropping the ball. So I don't know, Vrabel's gotta like put the sprinklers out and like get those foam beaters and just beat the crap out of them as they're running with the balls in their hand. I mean, I don't know what he's gonna do, but he's gonna do something
That's
to figure that out.
that's where I'm coming from, because like, this game against the Panthers was great. There was really not a lot of negatives, right? I just think that I'm not going to take this one game and say, "Hey, I forgot all the fumble issues from the game against the Steelers," because candidly, 2 years of the season of 2023 and 2024, who are the two leading fumblers in the league? Ramondre Stevenson and
Ramondre.
Antonio Gibson. So until there's a long stretch where they show me that they can hold on to the ball, I kind of don't believe that they can. So I'm in a show me, prove it to me type mode, and I hope that they do, because I would love to be proven wrong.
You just can't abandon them because
No.
this league, unless you're elite, unless you're Saquon Barkley, and he still gets spelled sometimes, you have to have 2 or 3 running backs in this league unless they're completely elite. Like that's just we've seen that for the past
I
couple
mean,
of
I,
years.
I think I think it's almost an issue that we only have 3 running backs, to be honest. And yes, we're thin. I think people would say our talent in the wide receiver room is not great. I would rather lose one of those wide receivers and get another running back here, because I do think our running back room is way too thin with 3 running backs, especially two who are leading fumblers in the last 2 seasons.
And someone's
So that's
bound to
my
get
opinion.
injured. Someone's bound to get injured too. So that's a good point, Eric.
Yeah, I mean, look, the trade market, the waiver wire, all those sorts of things are things that this team's going to have to keep their eyes on as, you get further and further into the season. Injuries start to pile up, and you're going to have to dip into that. But as of right now, where this team currently stands, you have to be happy with all things considered. 2-2 coming out of the gate, sort of figuring out who you are, new coaching staff, new offensive and defensive schemes, not having a defensive coordinator that you were planning on. Like, this team has had some adversity and has overcome it. And, it will be a great game in Buffalo Sunday night. And one of the very rare times where I think you can say if they're competitive but they don't come out with the win, is it, this potential moral victory. I go all the way back to 2001 when they played the St. Louis Rams in Foxborough at the old Patriots Stadium, and they lost to the Rams. But that was a game where they sort of stuck with them, and obviously we all know what happened, where they come back into the Super Bowl and have that sort of happen. So can it be, a game like that if they don't win, where they sort of stick with it and you can point back to it? This team's not winning the Super Bowl, but is it a game that you can sort of point to and say, okay, the Patriots really started to turn that corner, that week.
Greatest show on turf, my ass.
That's right, Big E. That's right.
We stuffed
I think
that
we should
shit.
do like next week or in a couple weeks we should do like look at the rest of the schedule and do like a win loss, because I was looking at it earlier today and like they do have a lot of cupcakes on the schedule. It's kind of crazy. So
And I think
this team could win a good amount of games. It wouldn't be something.
well,
It wouldn't be that crazy.
a little Patriots news that broke a little bit earlier this afternoon is there was a little flex action that happened in the schedule for week 6 following the game against Buffalo. Pats were supposed to be a 425 game against the Saints. That just got flexed to 1 o'clock because San Francisco, I think, is playing the Buccaneers. So a little bit of a better matchup because, the 0-4 Saints kind of just suck ass.
Yeah. Got to beat up on the good teams, and we'll see what the Pats can do over the next,
No, you
four,
gotta beat
four.
you gotta beat up on the bad teams.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got a whole bunch of bad teams after the Bills coming up. So take care, see what you can do against the Bills, and then take care of the garbage. So take it out. Speaking of the garbage, Sam, I mean, there's a team down in New York that's whew, it's pretty smelly down there in New York.
Who,
It's
the
a shit
Yankees or
show.
the
Is
Oh
Mets?
yeah. No,
Which
well,
one?
oh wow. True. That's
Oh,
very true.
Which one?
Shots fired.
Love
shots
that actually.
fired. Let's set the table here as we wrap things up on the Pats in terms of a huge game versus Buffalo coming up. Great win for the team, and we'll recap that game next week on the show. But it is time to turn the page, and Sam set the stage for us for what is bound to be an epic playoff matchup with the Red Sox and Yankees.
Told you. I told you guys. I mean, 89 and 73, one game under 90. They were the line was 86 and a half. I bet on them way back in February. They're 16 over. No one had this on their bingo card except for me. Um, we hold the second wild card spot, so Tuesday, boys, girls, non-denominants, get your chairs ready, because guess what? It is Crochet versus Freed, and it is going to be an electric game. And I'll give you two reasons why it's electric. One, because both teams walked off to clinch. And that tells you right there that, and actually the guy that walked off for the Yankees, they had like just signed him, I think. I think that might have been his first or second game with them, and he walked them off into the postseason. It was great to see Sadon do that. Not only to be able to see Sadon do that, but then to know that there was a story where Cora pinch hit for Sadon, and not that Cora lost faith in him, but he literally told him, keep your chin up. And when Sadon was doing his post-game interview, Cora came over, gave him a big hug, and put that chin up. So the camaraderie on this team is really big, and that's, I think, really all the credit kind of has to go to Alex Cora on that. Um, he kept this boat steady when things were getting really, really rocky. Um, we ended up trading a cornerstone player. Everything thought it was going to be a mess. And what happens? We end up turning it around and being a completely different team.
Hey, where's that
Um,
cornerstone player now?
he's on break, I think. I
He's on his couch.
think he's back in Santo Domingo having his Bernie, which is really good. Neither here nor there. But, hats off to Alex Cora, with pinch hitting, the pitching selection. I mean, I don't know how many walk-off games this team has. I mean, they had five alone in the green jerseys. So, I mean, it really is a recipe for success. The only thing that scares me is, I guess we got word today that Giolito is going to be out. He's got some elbow soreness. They're going to do some diagnostic testing later on this week to figure out what's really going on, but he is officially ruled out of the wild card series. So either Kyle Harrison, I'm sorry, or Connolly Early will be taking that spot as Peyton Toll's kind of been coming out of the bullpen for us. Um, you guys can kind of like take it away from here. I mean, I have some other notes that I'll kind of get into.
So one thing that I think is really, really helpful that it bodes really well for the Red Sox is you have to look at the last year, the second to last series that they played against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium, where they went 3 out of 4 games in August. They won 6-3, 1-0, 12-1, and then lost that Sunday night baseball game 7-2. So they can go into New York and play and win, and they're going to have to do that because there's no home games for the Red Sox, so they have to go into New York and win 2 out of 3. So that bodes well for them. And then also, I was just looking up some stats. In their last 20 road games, dating back to that series in August 21st, their last 20 road games, they've gone 14-6. So that bodes really, really well for them going into these playoffs too, playing well at home on the road because we know they play well at home. So you need to go and steal one and steal two, especially in this wild card. But if you want to move on from the wild card, you have to steal games on the road, and that's how you're gonna have to win it. So it's a good
Game one.
stat.
Game one is the game that they need to take.
Yeah,
They beat up on Freed once. Freed had our number
Yep.
once. Um, with Crochet on the mound and Giolito going out, that's kind of the game that you have to take. I prefer odds with Crochet on the mound versus Max Fried. Again, Max Fried unfortunately has been there and done that, whereas Garrett Crochet, this is his first time going over I think 200 innings pitched and first time he's actually going into the postseason, but I don't expect anything less than what we've gotten from him all season.
Well, and I think if you think about like who's got the pressure going into the series, the Red Sox weren't even expected to be here this year. And I know, Sam, that you expected them to be here, but I think
Yes,
the
yes,
collective
yes.
group here, the collective public, didn't think that they were a playoff team. And the Yankees always have that expectation. They have Aaron Judge, they have some of these really great players, and they are at home. So they have all the pressure on them, especially in game one. I agree. I think game one is the game that you gotta have because
Have to.
if you take game one, you're playing with house money because even if you lose game two, you got game three and
You're
anything can
going home.
happen in a win or go home game. So I think we're all looking forward to the game on Tuesday. I know that this will come out after that, but Tuesday is really going to be the game that I think that is going to be the tone setter here.
Yeah, this team has to
thank
play
you.
clean. They have to play clean baseball, especially Trevor Story's making a lot of errors this month. He has to play really clean. They just can't be dumb. Honestly, just let Crochet do his thing on the mound, play good defense behind him if you have to. Hopefully, you don't even have to. Honestly, hopefully, he's just striking out dudes left and right, and then just when Freed makes those mistakes, just jump on it and just get on base. If you get get Sedane on, get those, be aggressive, run on them, do what you got to do. I just want to see them play some really fundamental baseball here because they have really started to over the last couple of months, and you've really seen it. So just keep it rolling.
Yeah, they got to lock in against the Yankees here and really make sure that, the errors go away. They're sort of looking for their pitch. The thing about Yankee Stadium is we know it's a little league ballpark, so get ready for, Cora to really manage his ass off. And I think looking back to how they got into the playoffs and how he treated that game on Friday night against Detroit, is how he's going to approach things moving forward. If a pitcher's struggling, they're done. If they need to go matchups from a pinch hitting standpoint, he's going to dive into the bench and try and get those matchups. So it's all 25, however many guys are on the roster these days, to make it happen. The Giolito thing is really a tough one because if you do go to game three, you're throwing a rookie. Kraz, I know that you had this in the outline. That almost goes all the way back to Walker Buehler. And was that sort of a dumb move to let him go, considering what
Like I
he's done in
said,
Philly?
It was, yeah.
he was not here for the regular season. He was here for the postseason because he's a horse, and that was probably one of the more unfavorable moves that the Sox made.
It was a cash dump, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, and
Essentially,
he
Sucked.
just
It
wasn't
sucked.
he was
performing.
disgruntled. I think he wanted to.
He was
He
in the
wanted, yeah.
bullpen. Yeah, exactly. He wasn't happy. He was talking with his agent, and he wanted out. So he got out. I mean, it
So it's
sucks,
on him
It
too.
yeah, it would have been a great fourth person, but at the same time, we have
You don't
these
want
young
to be here.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we have these young
You don't need
guys,
a cancer in the clubhouse.
You already got rid of
and
one.
and the good thing is the Yankee players really haven't seen these young guys that much, so that works in our advantage. Connolly early, I'll tell you that kid's got a pitching arsenal like none other than I've seen. He's got like 4 or 5 pitches that he just throws, and he's got a 96 mile an hour fastball with a slider, cutter, change up, and a 12-6 complement. It's just you don't see that anymore.
It's going to be an incredibly entertaining series. The Sox go to the Bronx to go take on the Yankees. Best 2 out of 3. Looking back to the beginning of the season, you really couldn't ask for much more for this team to get into a playoff matchup. We know what Red Sox Yankees is. I'm hopeful the rivalry. We see a little bit of that sort of grit and the hate, if you will, come to life. The Yankee fans and all the bullshit. Certainly Erky and his fucking fingers. Yeah, we're gonna all gonna see Erky on Friday, and it's either gonna be a very happy encounter or we're gonna have to eat it a
Could
little
game
bit.
three be on
So
Friday?
No,
No.
so
Tuesday,
here's the
Wednesday,
thing.
Thursday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh, good.
Watch for Narvaez to have a big series against the Yankees because they DFA'd him. I just want to throw that out there for
Oh,
you right now.
he hates the Yankees. I agree with that. Yep.
I think that as I think Big E said, the pressure is on New York in
They
this
need to get over
series.
that hump.
Yeah, and go in there, do what you do, and see if you can get on a little bit of a run here, and ride the big pig in crocheting game one to hopefully a series win. So it's going to be exciting. We'll recap everything on next week's show. Uh, we're going to do a quick Bruins and Celtics minutes now. Gabe, as we mentioned, getting ready for the big day this upcoming weekend. So I'll set the stage here for the Bruins a little bit. They're into preseason play. 2-1 so far. Really haven't paid attention to any of the games. Sounds
Nope.
like tonight. They're playing
So much else going on.
too
So,
much
come
else
on.
going on.
Just
to
gonna
keep
be
up with
real.
the
Just gonna
Bruins.
be real.
But the
Seriously.
facts are is that they're back on the ice, getting ready for I think it's October 8th or 10th versus the Capitals, where
That's
they
right
start
around
the
the corner.
season. So yeah, crazy that's next week where the Bruins start
It's
regular
gonna be
season
80
play.
degrees too. It's like what?
Still no captain. Still
Doesn't
no
feel
captain.
doesn't feel like hockey yet. They should.
No,
That's
don't
something
need
we
one.
should look at. They should push back the hockey calendar a little bit. October, it's not the old October anymore.
No, I mean a day like today where it feels like another summer day. It's almost 80 degrees out. I mean, Big E's flexing the no sleeves right now. So look
No,
at
he's got
look
Big
at
E's got the
that.
cashmere sweater
This
on. What are you
Mr.
talking about?
Strong Man coming in, baby.
Spit Popeye.
Give me the spinach, baby.
Give him that
God, you want
spinach,
some more
but
spinach from Mr. Popeye?
don't
Hey,
touch
Mr.
the fire.
Strong Man.
Mr. Strong Man. Don't touch the fire though. Bruins get their season going. Apparently tonight all the regulars are playing.
Good.
So when Gabe's back, he'll get us ready to rock and roll with the Bruins and all shit going on there.
Two weeks Gabe's back? Two weeks?
I don't know. I can't keep
We'll
up
see.
with all the schedules here. He's got enough going on. He'll be back when he's back.
We'll be doing
Zero
the
zero
horror in
end
no time.
0-0 end of one against Philly. Very exhilarating.
There we
Period.
go.
Woo!
All right. Let's turn the attention to the team in green. Big E's wearing his custom Grateful Dead Celtics jersey, which is dope. And today was media day for the boys. So you saw all of them in their jerseys as well. Whole team together at the Auerbach Center in Brighton. Big E, did you get to see anything from today? Any takeaways? I think there's another big takeaway from this weekend with the Celtics that we need to talk about, but set the stage.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to see any media day stuff today. Buried in the work stuff today, and then hitting the gym afterwards. So, and then straight here with the boys. So I have not had an opportunity to check out any of the clips, any of the stuff, any of the sound bites. We'll be excited to check that out later. But I think want to get to the big news of what we saw over the weekend, and that is the return to Jason Tatum on the court. I know that there have been a lot of opinions here on when people think that he's going to be coming back. And I was the holdout, I think, of the group being like, don't play him this season, don't play him this season. I don't want to say my tune has changed, but my tune might be changing.
Play him.
I think it's not just what I saw with him on the court and how he looked, it's how other people are reacting to him, and not
The
just
surgeon.
like it's not just the surgeon. One Mr. Kevin Durant, who suffered the same injury, was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah,
Like
well,
this
I mean,
guy.
Kevin Durant's Achilles tendon is also like
You
this
got to
big,
give Tatum
so.
his kudos though. He's been in the gym. I'm hearing 5 days a week since it
6.
happened, rehabbing. So like that's
Stay
all on
local.
that's all on the player too. Like
Let's-
yes, you have to have good genetics, obviously. Like but you have to have that drive too. So you got to give it to Tatum. So that's what I want to point out here. Like. And that's the recognition I think KD is giving Tatum is like, dude, you're getting at it. Like you're killing this rehab, and
And his
that's what you
surgeon-
want from your star.
Yeah, I mean, his surgeon was literally like, I've never seen any patient excel at this rate ever. So, I
Well,
mean, knock on wood, it bodes well for us moving forward in the future. And it bodes well for all superstar athletes that suffer from this injury moving forward. Maybe this is a new wave to kind of, you know, look at Stephon Diggs. You know,
true.
4 or 5 years ago, if you had an ACL, it was
A
12
full
months.
year. Yeah, full year.
12
Yep.
months.
Well,
Now
but
6 months and he's cutting like nothing. So
but
True.
it's like you said, he's in the gym, he's putting on weight, he's working out that calf. That's the biggest thing is maintaining strength in that calf so that that Achilles is completely enveloped in muscle and it's not gonna pull again because it's gonna be when he does come back, it's gonna be there's obviously gonna be rust and stuff like that, but we're going to see some hesitation at first with him because there's a big mental thing that he's going to have to jump over. Cutting, things like that are going to be really in the back of his mind until he does it once or twice. And then once we start seeing that, I expect him to start going again. But uh, that March timeline's looking pretty good.
Well, and that rehab obviously is super important because that's like the fuel that gets him to come back and play. But I
Yeah.
think we can't underscore the importance of getting that surgery as quickly as he did. And I'm really curious to see how, in particular, I know Dame had an Achilles injury, and that happened, I think, like a few weeks or a month before Tatum's. But I'm really curious to see how Halliburton comes back for a couple reasons, because he also had a similar injury, almost the same exact motion as what happened with Tatum. But the reason why I'm interested about Halliburton is obviously they're not built the same way, but they're both young guys. And I believe Halliburton had the surgery pretty quickly as well, not as quickly as Tatum, but they both have the same trainer in Drew Hanlon. So I'm a little curious to see kind of both of their progresses. And maybe Halliburton doesn't play this year because his injury happened so much later in the finals. But it is going to be interesting to see how those two guys really kind of come back and become forces in this league because I am rooting for Halliburton to come back and become a player that he was as well.
And one last thing, if this team is a fourth, fifth, sixth seed and, you know, March comes around and they get back a fully healthy Jason Tatum, what a deadline acquisition that would be. I mean, that would just completely level up this team. I was thinking about it the other day. It was like, if he comes back, that's like trading for a superstar and not getting rid of anything. So, let's go C's.
And I think the other thing about this season that just has me so excited is I'm so excited to see Jaylen Brown take over the 1A position and be the man. I think if there's anybody in this league who is constantly disrespected, it is Jaylen Brown, and I think he's going to turn some heads this season. So I'm really, really, really excited to see him have the opportunity to be the guy. And if he can be the guy that I think he can be, and then Tatum comes back and Tatum is exactly who we all know he can be, watch out. This is a scary team to be matched up against, not just this year in the playoffs, but for the go forward as well.
Completely agree. And one little nugget, Celtics nugget that's on sad to note, but we need to mention it is Big Al Horford signed a multi-year deal with Golden State. Kudos to Al. He's done so much for this city, putting up banner 18. Really sad to see him go, but obviously we wish him best of luck in Golden State and all the things that he's going to do there.
Has anybody looked over the contract? Is it an opt out after 1 year? I'm just curious. I didn't see any
No.
How
details
many
about that quite
years?
yet.
I just
I
saw
saw
multi.
I just saw multi-year, so I would assume two, but I
Yeah,
also wouldn't be surprised if there was a player option for the second year because
To opt out,
it I
retire, yeah.
well, no, it's not
No,
even that.
just
come
I
back
would
to the
I
Celtics.
wouldn't be shocked if he came back to the Celtics
yeah.
because Tatum is like he said that like Tatum is his boy. Tatum has said that Horford is his favorite teammate of all time. I could see a reunion in 26, 27, but again, I need to understand what the details of his contract
I
were.
was
And I don't blame Al for going to try and get a ring with Golden State this
I
year. While
I don't.
while he can.
No. I hear you, Eric, but I think it's a basketball move. I think it's a Brad Stevens move. Like you have to part ways with a guy who's kind of at this point almost a little bit of a liability with the non-back with can't playing back to backs, limited minutes. See what you got out of someone a younger guy maybe. I truly think it's a basketball move, and not saying that I disagree with it. I actually do agree with the basketball move, but I just don't see him coming back. I
Oh,
think he's
I just don't
a
think he was
classic
meant
guy.
to come back to the Celtics this year if they weren't a title contender. That guy at his age and what he can do, he should be
Wins.
competing for championships at this point of his career. And, you know, I think that the big question is what happens with Tatum. If we knew Tatum was going to be back and that, this team didn't have this talent depletion that we had to go through because of the CBA, I would say keep Al all day, every day. But I think for him, no one can be upset for him for moving on.
No,
I,
no, no. But I'm saying I think Brad Stevens was like, this is
Danny?
completely on Brad. But I was thinking about Brad in that movie, Danny in that movie where he's like, you have to get rid of people before, it kind of that time comes. And this is really one of those moves. Like, it's just, I think it's time. Al's time here is gone, and
I'll
I
take
wish
it
him
back
best
for a
of
vet
luck.
minimum.
But
I felt
I,
that way about Porzingis. I didn't feel
I
that way
don't
about
know,
Al.
dude. I think
I didn't feel that way about
I
Al.
think you have to see what you have with these young guys, and I think it's time to move on.
Wait,
But
be
how many
excited
young
about
guys were sitting
be
on the bench that
just
didn't
just
do anything if you have Al
just
coming off for 5 to 10, maybe 15 minutes a game?
just
But
remember
why? But
you heard it here that Chris Boucher
interesting.
and Luka Garza are going to be interesting fits on this team this year. And I think I don't know. I think Boucher is going to be the guy that everyone is thinking about, but Garza's the dude that I think is going to be a guy that's going to surprise and turn a lot of heads.
in terms of the Celtics and the Horford conversation, I think it goes back to you look at the playoffs last year when Porzingis was out and you needed a guy to come off the bench from a big man perspective, and he was a no-show. And it just he's not the Al Horford of old. He's going on being a 20-year player in the league almost at this point. Like I
Fuck you,
love Al.
LeBron.
What he's done has been incredible for the Celtics. He was the first, sort of big name free agent who decided that he was going to come here. So from that perspective, like all the kudos and flowers to Al. Now, the people who are saying his number should be retired, you're fucking crazy.
No
That's
way,
ab
no
Yes.
way. He
that's
went to
ab
Philly. No way.
Sean, and I'm
He's a
speaking to
journeyman.
I'm speaking directly to the Celtics announcer on 98.5 The Sports of Sean Grandy, who suggested such the fact. What a preposterous statement to say that Al
I,
Horford should be in
Although
the
he started in
Raptors.
Atlanta.
we do love you, Sean, though. So no shade, but we don't agree with this take.
No
Terrible
shade,
take.
but preposterous take. And look,
Terrible.
and
Terrible.
Sean Grandy likes to have his takes, so we love him. Good stuff. We're looking forward to him being back, calling games with Max as well. A little cornbread coming up.
Sandwiches, sandwiches, sandwiches.
Yeah. Get your popcorn. Okay. Can't wait for Grandy and Max to hit the airwaves. Celtic season coming up, preseason starting soon, and then they kick things off here at the end of the month. Looking forward to it. March. I'm sticking with March for Tatum. Based on everything I'm seeing, I might be overestimating, but I'll comfortably stick with March at this point. And this team can make a run if he's a part of it. So let's keep the train moving. We got to talk about one thing that happened this weekend that only happens every 2 years. And there was a lot of chatter. It almost took over the sports talk from the entire weekend. And that is the Ryder Cup that took
Have
place
a
in Long Island
disgrace.
at
Is
Bethpage.
is that what we watched at your bachelor party, Josh?
No, that was
No.
the
No.
Was that? Oh,
Olympics.
that
That
was
was the
Olympic
Olympics.
That was
golf.
the
Yeah,
Okay,
Olympics,
that was the
Olympic golf.
which
Olympic
was
golf. Okay.
cool.
Yeah, that was
Olympic golf was
yeah.
fun. But the Ryder Cup, let me just set the stage because the scoring makes no fucking sense in terms of things.
Yeah, they
It's
got
like how are
smoked.
they playing? Well, here's the thing. The US got absolutely smoked on Friday and
Handled.
Saturday in the match play, where you're playing best ball and you're playing in foursome and every
Team
hole.
game. Team ball.
Every hole is sort of a point here, and they just got absolutely demolished. And Hopkinton's own Keegan Bradley trotted out Colin Morikawa and I think it's Cam English. I could be wrong. His last name is English, which was like statistically the worst fucking pairing that you could put out there. And the Europeans got such a big lead that it was a 28-3 sort of situation for the U.S. Give them credit though, because yesterday they tried to make it as exciting as they could. They inevitably end up losing 15-13. But I think that the biggest thing is all this like talk about how the crowd at Bethpage was all over the Europeans and that it crossed the line. And I'm just so sick and tired of these fucking golf people who think that their sport is so fucking righteous that they can come in and do whatever they want. And, you have to hold your applause and you can't
Well, it's
cheer.
the
And you can't do
Irish.
this and you can't do that. And then you have Rory McIlroy, who,
Drinking a
granted,
beer.
incredible player, but the shit that he's had gone on
Yeah,
and off
the
the
beer
course,
getting thrown,
like,
the beer getting thrown at his wife, that wasn't cool. That
no,
was not cool.
that's terrible. And you don't want,
That's some terrible New York fandom right there. That's
yeah, that's
classic New
that's
York.
New
It's
York
classic
trash,
Yankee stuff.
like Philly trash and some of those fans, undoubtedly. So the behavior, yes, but the way that in which he carries himself, and he's hit fucking phones out of hands of fans beforehand, and he stormed off in the parking lot, and we could certainly get into his extracurricular activities off the course as well. And I'll leave it at that. But like, you're no fucking Peach yourself, Mr. McElroy. So to sit there and try and dictate what should and shouldn't happen when you have your own shit going on, just that doesn't sit well with me. But if anybody else wants to chime in on the Ryder Cup, feel free. But I'm just, the European people are just like, no wonder we left that country.
So I think the one thing that I will give the Europeans a little bit of a pass on is I'm not sure if you guys heard, but the MC at Bethpage, Heather McMahon,
Idiot.
she took it a little bit over the top and
Idiot.
listen, the fans can do that, but if you are the MC of like what's going on there, you can't do that. And like, listen, I love Heather McMahon. I've seen her live. She's hilarious. But like, there's a certain time and a certain place, especially if you're getting paid. Like you don't have to be neutral, but you have to be somewhat like understanding of reading the temperature in the room. And
But
she didn't read it, and she got canned.
so my thing is about this whole Ryder Cup experience is it's these entitled New York rich people that think that they can fucking get away with anything and everything no matter what they do. And that's the shit that pisses me off because like I don't know if that would happen like this if it was anywhere else in the country rather than
I know a
freaking
few of
Long
those.
Island. It's just it that's the thing that baffles me. It's like it puts a bad name on the whole country. Granted, we're not in a great place as a country, so it's not great, but like it doesn't New York is not the place for the Ryder Cup in my personal opinion. At least not like Long Island. It just I don't know, man. It was great for the sport, though, I will say. Like, all eyes were on the sport, but it was a little tough on Football Sunday, having the ending there. I thought that was a little weird. Was the timing? I think it was like, was it late this year? I felt like it was a little bit later than normal. I'm not sure if they typically do it during football season, but it just
No,
felt like there was a
I
lot
I
going on.
I think they do, but I think it's typically a little bit earlier in September.
Like, there was
Like
a lot.
at least I remember it being earlier in September.
But I don't know. New York, I don't know. I don't care for the fans there and how they wear. I really don't.
We all
Tell
know.
us how you feel. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah.
He did.
I will. I'll do it again.
I think the only thing with that too, the last thing is you got to give credit to Shane Lowry for hitting the putt for them to retain and keep the cup with Europe. The stupid envelope rule where Hovland doesn't play and each team gets a half a point, like that absolutely impacted things. You lose 15-13. That putt with Lowry, is for a half a point at that point in time. And if that half point for the match that didn't get played hadn't been awarded, everything else that was happening after that still would have been in play. So I just don't understand how you have a tournament where, you have players and you don't have some sort of alternate situation. That's an absolutely terrible rule that they need to clean up for the next time.
Agreed.
But valiant effort from the US.
I think
they
the
made it.
atmosphere. I think the atmosphere might have affected how the U.S. played. By the way, because Scheffler was way off, Schauffele was way off. So I don't know if the atmosphere actually played into the hands of the Americans, or if it really put the pressure on them.
It probably didn't, and the pressure is on you. It's the same thing, you're the home team. I will say that, American golf is so individualistic. You're from a very young age working with your swing coaches and going to the range and all this stuff. It's like team golf really isn't a concept here, other than when your company does some sort of outing, or you're out there doing it, for shits and giggles. It's not like there's any other sort of big tournament from a golf perspective outside of the Ryder Cup where team golf has eyes on it. So I'll tell you this, it was fun to watch. It was a lot of chatter, a lot of things to come out of Long Island this weekend. Congrats to the Europeans. They take the cup and they shoved it down our throats, rightfully so. So good for them. Big E, it's time for you to, I'm not going to say what I just said. It's time for you.
All right, it's time for me, baby. It's my favorite time of the week. It's the time where we get to talk about the things that, really like annoy me, the things that I hate, the things that, we just don't love. Those are the things that make me go, yeah, oh, like get out of here. Like, psh. And they're the things that I love, the things that get me excited, the things that make me want to get up in the morning and yell, "Oh yeah!" What
Oh,
do we got this week
broke the
for the
speakers.
things? I thought that was a little bit more tame than
No, you're good.
usual.
You're good.
Tailed off at
That
the
was
end, but
fun.
that's all right. Uh, oh yes, and yeah, O's for the week.
I'll
Who
start
wants to
us
jump
off.
in? Go ahead,
I'll
Brad.
start us off. A big yeah oh to Apple fucking TV. How
Agreed.
many how many streaming I'm paying? Well, I mean I'm not paying, but it's 200 some odd, 200 some odd dollars for cable. Then you got fucking Peacock that you got to pay for. Then you got to pay for Prime. Then you got to pay for Apple TV. It's like uh, and a clinching game at that. Like, come
Crazy.
on. Like,
All
that
right.
was just
It's on
ridiculous.
Henry
Can,
too.
can I add another Yahoo here? And it's not about the Apple TV, but it's another streaming service. We're a YouTube TV household here, and as I know J-Matt is as well. I'm watching the game last
Yeah,
night for
what?
Sunday Night Football, and there's a freaking thing at the top being like YouTube TV's at it again. Because NBC and YouTube TV are being like, oh,
Yeah,
you might lose your channels on September 30th. You want to know what? I don't care. Just make an arrangement so I don't have to lose my channels. Because
Can we just
it's
get a
not just
sports package?
but here's the thing. It's not just YouTube TV. Comcast will do this too. It's like all these cable companies will do these things where they're like, "Oh yeah, blame this station because they're not going to pay for it." Just suck it up and we're paying enough for our cable. You guys can figure it out.
Yeah,
yeah.
or continue to like at this point, if you want to do fucking commercials, what you are during red zone, so you can pay your bills, like whatever. At this point, like just give us the
Back.
like, let us watch the
You sound
let us
so much better.
He's
let us
back.
watch the fucking games for Christ's sakes. Like, what is going on? I just don't understand why we can't just watch these games when you're paying an arm and a leg to do so. I'm glad I sound better. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
I don't
That's
either.
great.
Welcome
It's wild.
back.
Welcome
Be
back.
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I guess I don't know what happened there. All right. We
I
got
got
a
a
big
I got a Yao.
go
Oh, I
ahead.
got one quick Yao. Just because it happened last night. Ties in football. How do we feel about that?
I love him. I actually love him
Really? You
because
like it?
I'll tell you
Nope.
why. I'll
Oh,
tell you why. Like because it is the only sport where a tie happens now. And like, listen, I don't love the shootout in hockey. I think the shootout in hockey is stupid. I think it is absolutely
I kind of agree.
ludicrously stupid. And I think for football, it is such a physical sport that it's really hard to ask those guys to play more than and I know it's 10 minutes, maybe it should be 15 minutes for the overtime period, but it's really hard to ask those guys to play in more than an extra quarter because of how taxing that sport is. And that's my opinion. You guys might disagree. I also think the one reason why I like ties is it totally makes things absolutely like crazy for playoffs and seeding, and it's not something that happens all the time. And when it does, the amount of joy I got last night, just know, and also Jordan Love, what an effing idiot you are
Oh
in
my
that
God.
game. Like
He almost
throw
screwed that up.
he could have thrown that ball away, but he was like a half second away from getting sacked and losing that game. So
That would have been a
he's an
10
idiot.
second
He's an
runoff.
idiot, and he's lucky that they tied because
True.
they should have lost that game.
They should have.
100%. 100%. That
Ties are
what
weird.
well,
They're weird.
Matt LaFleur, when it comes to the end of game management, as we rewind back to that NFC game when you're down 8 and you kick a field goal with 2 minutes left going up against Brady. His elevator doesn't necessarily always go to the top floor. So you know, That's it. Any other oh yeahs or yeah ohs, boys?
Just
Nothing.
I think
a
there's one.
There's a big one.
big. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, this weekend.
Gonna be a time. Gonna be a time for Mr. Gabe and Miss Francesca's wedding. It's gonna be great for the boys to all be together again. The extended Boston Sports Bros family will be there. Yep, get your practice in here with a
I'm
little up
ready.
and
I'm
down.
ready.
Mr. Strongman's ready to go. He didn't have to do it last time, so he's being called in from the bullpen. Uh, and
Let's go,
yeah, it's
Biggie. You're taking the
gonna
Call me
back.
in. Call me in. Call me in. I'm ready.
gonna be a
Taking the
hell of a
back,
time.
baby.
Looking forward to it. Congrats, very early congratulations to Gabe and Francesca, and I'm sure we'll have some more words for it when we regroup next week. So big
Agreed.
weekend on deck from that standpoint.
Agreed.
Let's take the Pike home, boys. Call it a day here. Pats versus Buffalo Sunday Night Football to sort of put a cherry on
Oh,
top of the wedding weekend. Which what could be better?
it's
I
like
just hope I
Gabe
can.
planned it. Oh,
Yeah, just hope that I can stay awake and hopefully get a little Sunday nap in at some point. Sox versus
Liquid IV,
Yankees.
bros.
Yeah, get ready. 6 p.m. start time, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday if necessary. Bruins preseason rolls on. Celtics training camp underway. Celtics preseason getting started next week. So we're at the point of the sports calendar, boys, where it is full fucking go. Lots of things going on. We have some awesome guests that are booked coming up over the next couple of weeks. I won't spoil anything yet because it's good enough where you're going to want to tune in each and every week with who we have on. So we'll leave it at that. Gentlemen, any parting words? Otherwise,
just wanted to thank Samson again for coming on. Really appreciate you and all you do for Right, the music you create. It's incredible. So kudos to you and thanks for coming on again.
big shout out, cousin Sam. Love him. Love Ripe.
Agreed.
Here's to a very successful tour for them coming up. The album's out there. If you haven't listened yet, go find
Download
it.
it.
The album's
Get
called
out from under a
Play.
rock and listen
Play
to
the
it.
Game. Play the Game by Ripe is the album name. 12 amazing songs on there. Go check it out. Much love to Cousin Sam for joining us tonight. All right, that'll do it, boys. Near, far, wherever you are. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the Boston Sports Brothers podcast. Peace.
Later.
All done.